Welcome back to another playoff episode of The Recap. Today's episode features the number 3 Wolves versus the number 6 Bulls. Round 1 of playoffs. Wolves going to put Yash on the hill, but he would struggle. He would go on to walk 6 straight batters and surrender 5 runs in the first inning. Wolves would have to come out swinging. Yash would lead things off with a walk of his own, but Hotailing would follow that up with a big-time play here, big-time playoff play, as a matter of fact. Phil to Hotailing the double play. 2 down just like that. Pascucci would walk, and then Samar going to be the final out of the inning after one 5-0 Bulls. Top 2, Yash going to walk 3 straight batters to load the bases, but then he starts to dial in, going to strike out Hotailing, and then he sits down. Phil on the ground out, and then Ferguson going to go down on strikes. Can't keep up with the hard power slider. Over to the bottom of the second. Yash walks, and then Kasuba going to strike out looking here. And then Pascucci ground out. Good defensive play here once again. They go for the double play, but no luck. Samard would walk, and then Yash going to get North Greenbush on the board with a double down the line. 5-1 game at this point, but then a foul out by Kasuba would end the second. 5-1 at this point, Bulls. Yash continuing to settle in. He would walk a batter, but then he's going to strike out Hotailing swinging. Phil finally going to slap a single here. A funky play. Doesn't quite work in their favor. Yash went to the wrong base. No problem, though, because Ferguson looking like a young boy at the candy shop with no money. Just looking. Larkin, though, going to slap a single with a little English on it here, and Samar can't handle it. Unhappy with it. Unhappy with his performance there on that play. But, again, Yash really starting to look good over the course of the last 2 innings. 5-1 at this point. Bottom third now. Last chance for the Wolves. Walks Pascucci and then walks Samard as well. Yash been hot. Going to step up in the clutch again. Singles here on the booted ball by Ferguson. So now with the bases loaded, Hotailing settles in, strikes out Kasuba. And then he's going to sit down. Pascucci looking. Scary moment here, though. Phil goes to throw the ball back, and Hotailing looks to bust his ankle. He runs the count a little deep, but then fires the strikes, brings things to a 3-2 count to Samard. Down to their last strike, bases loaded. Kaboom! And there you have it. Tie ball game. Samard's grand slam. Gonna knot this thing at 5. An unbelievable moment here in BBWL history. Wolves looking like they were out of it, and just like that, we got a tie game. Hotailing it dominated all game long. He does put down Kasuba, and we're going to extras. The leader, Mike Phil, to lead things off in the top of the 4th, and he's going to hammer a double here. Huge hit to lead things off. But remember, Yash has not given up a run in the last 2 innings. He's going to show just why. Powers one past Ferguson. Larkin would walk to make it first and second, but then Hotailing going to ground out here. 2 outs, and the Wolves just 1 out away from getting out of the inning. But look at this. Phil. Samar! I never see anything like it. Samar can't track it down, and look at this thing. You never seen so much English on a ball. It's like a curveball. Samar bouncing back and forth like a pinball machine. And yeah, he can't handle it. Gosh, in disgust, doesn't know what to think, and I'll tell you what, it's going to cost him, because Ferguson's going to walk with the bases loaded, making it a 6-5 game. Gosh would then get out of the inning here on the ground ball, but the Wolves would find themselves down 1 going into the bottom of the 4th. First batter, Pascucci, going to go down on strikes, and then Yash. Oh, if he doesn't get any better than that. Painting the corners, Hotailing. 2 down here. Samar with a chance for some heroics once again, but this time he is no luck there, and the Bulls going to take game 1 in the series. So over to game 2, and the Wolves have no choice but to put their guy on the mound. Ethan Samard was a 2-time back-to-back coach, but the Wolves brought him in for his arm, but he's going to IBB the first two batters and put the Wolves down 1-0 before he strikes out Ferguson. A walk to Hoteling would bring up Phil, who he would also sit down on strikes, and then Ferguson once again, Samard going to sit him down 1-0 Bulls after the top of the first. Josh been hot so far in the series, and he's going to lead things off with a bomb to left center. 1-1 on the solo shot from Yash. And the Wolves get on the board early. Next batter, Kasuba going to go down on strikes. Swinging, and then Pascucci would go down as well before Samard would walk. Yash would walk. Kasuba would walk. And then, another grand slam for the Wolves. Pascucci with no bigger hit in his career thus far. And it's a 5-1 game over to the top of the second. Samard gonna sit down, Hoteling swinging, and then Phil swinging, and you got it. 1-2-3 inning. When Samard is on, he is as good as they come. That ends the Bulls in the top of the second. Over to the bottom of the second. Samard's gonna walk, Yash is gonna walk, Kasuba walks. Pascucci on the foul out. Samard would go down swinging, but Yash gonna come up with a big double and put the Wolves on the board even more. And Kasuba, he's gonna leave the yard next, and the Wolves are clicking on all cylinders. 10-1 after the bottom of the second. Wolves got all those runs with 2 outs, and Samar would take the ball back in his hand over in the top of the third. He's gonna continue to sit him down. Hoteling strikes out, Phil strikes out, and then after a couple walks, that'll do it. Samard untouchable in this one, and he finishes with a no-hitter and 8 strikeouts. So over to the last game of the series. Yash gonna get things started with a double, man. If he can get a full season, then he's a potential MVP guy without question. So man on second, Kasuba gonna ground out to shortstop.
Oh, he's not going.
Ferguson over to Phil, and then Pascucci. He's going to stay hot with a single here, and then Samard in the top of the third. Houston, we have liftoff. Exit velocity plus 100. That was either going to hit Mike Phil in the face. Thank goodness he got out of the way, and it scooted over the center field wall. That ball was crushed. Yash going to strike out, swinging here to Phil. Kasuba would single, but 3 runs is what the Wolves would settle with when it was all said and done. Pascucci would foul out to end the inning as we head over to the bottom of the first. Although Kasuba looked good to start things off, he would only strike out Ferguson for 2 outs, but to go along with that, there were a handful of walks in this inning. Wolves would actually give up 5 runs and go down 5-3 before heading over to the top of the second, where Ethan Samard, man, that was like deja vu. Liner over the center field wall once again. Phil, though, going to continue to battle on the mound. He's going to strike out Yash. He would walk Kasuba, but then he would strike out Pascucci. Intense moment here after the home run Samard hit last at bat. Phil going to throw at him, and then some choice words. The two go at it. Once they were separated, we got him into the box, and Samard gonna get after Phil once again, taking him deep and gone. A huge homer there. Samard had 4 homers in this series. Yash gonna ground out as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Ferguson with a unique trap there, but he did field it clean, and it was ruled an out. Here we go, bottom 2. Ferguson gonna go down on the foul out. Hoteling would walk, and then Phil gonna fly out here. We would get back-to-back IBBs. The Bulls would take a 7-6 lead before Phil would foul out. Wolves down to their last chance after a Pascucci ground out. We would get a walk and an IBB to tie things at 7. Runner on third. Yash is up. We're gonna get a hard ground ball and a fantastic game-saving play right there. Phil would close out the inning here with a strikeout on Kasuba. 7-7 over to the bottom of Wolves. Gotta hold them here. Ferguson to the plate.
One run would win it for the Bulls. And you got it. Ferguson not wasting any time. The Bulls with the upset. The BBWL has seen 3 out of the 4 series with the upset taking over this year in 2023, and the Bulls joining in on the upset party, and they move on to the semifinals. Thanks for joining us once again on The Recap.